And good day, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Thank you so much for attending this event today, this beautiful Saturday day. My name is Andrew, and I'm really glad that you had time to come and spend this time with me. So today we're going to go through some very important things regarding the property in Bali. So one of the main questions is how to save money in today's realities and how correctly to invest in Bali market and what kind of profits you can get while you are investing here. So my name is Andrew Senkos, and I'm director of the international sales department for the Magnum estate, which is one of the biggest development companies in Bali. In total, we have more than 10 years experience in the Bali market, and as well, we had some projects in Jakarta, in the capital of Indonesia. At the moment, we have over 100 people working with us in our offices here in Bali. We did great job in the past 3 years. While it was COVID, most of the developers had a really bad times. We increased our sales for more than 3 times. And you can check our recent projects and the projects what we did before. We have few hotels and villa complexes built over here in Bali, and as well as one of the biggest entertainment complexes in Jakarta, Sun City Hotel Luxury Club. We have not just development company, we have few more companies inside our structure. And recently, we have a lot of things going on with our Digitals company, which is one of the leading companies in implementing new technologies in a hotel management. We're already working with more than 20 hotels over here in Bali. It's a famous, the Heaven Suites Barava. It's all parts hotel in Indonesia, and as well as all our hotels are connected to our digital smart home system. So what our company is doing, we're selling investment in residential property, as well as we're doing the real estate management, real estate resale. We're helping to open bank account. We're helping with the tax optimization and the full assistance in Bali, how to come, what to do. Yeah. Either we're doing it ourselves, either we can suggest you some professionals who will help you out with that. As well, at the moment, we have 6 big projects under construction, different stages. For example, right now, I'm located in the Umala Signature Complex. This is the biggest residential complex in a whole touristic area, only building with a hotel license in Canggu, Umalas area. So it's 90% done. I'm already sitting in this beautiful office today. As well, we did more than 190 deals in the last 20 months, more than 15,000 requests we received in the last 1.5 years. Recently, we launched for the market 459 properties on the market, more than 10,000 square meters commercial areas. So we're not just doing the property, we're doing the commercial buildings, fitness centers, cafes, restaurants, bars, yogas, co-working spaces, beach clubs, and so on. So what we're gonna learn at this event, we will understand the current investment situation in Bali market. We will learn how to choose the format of the real estate and what is the best option on the market right now. You will learn how to buy real estate step by step, legality, legal registration, security guarantees, and of course, we will talk a little bit about the taxes. You will learn how to make a proper yield calculation considering all the facts, not just I will receive $100, I will spend $20, but we're gonna go detailed through all those questions. And you will learn how much are the taxes and what is the easy way to pay them. But going through all this, I would like to talk a little bit about the myths and there is a lot of myths about Bali and Indonesia in general. So one of the biggest one is that Indonesia is an unknown country with a weak economy, and it's not a safe and secure place. It's better to invest in Europe or Dubai. It's not like that. Bali is the province of Indonesia, and this is a country with a very stable economic development. It's the fourth largest population in the world, and it's one of the most fast growing economies in the world as well. In 2012, Indonesia replaced India, becoming the second fastest growing economy in the world of the group of 20. And since that, every year, the annual growth went more than 5%. So by 2030, Indonesia will get in top 5 economics in the world. The second largest myth is that Indonesia is a country with an unpredictable economy and a politics. This year, we had actually this month, we had a G20 summit held here in Bali, and we had all the most famous and powerful people arriving to Bali. And that means something. They would not make it in a country which is unstable. So about the country, in 2020, the inflation rate was just 2%. Right now it's close to 4%. But we know that average percentage is around 10 in the world. If we're talking about the strong economies like United States or some European countries. The country where I was born, Latvia, it's 23% inflation rate now. Yeah, so one of the biggest in Europe. About the currency rate is pretty stable, and it's around 14 to 15, 16,000 rupees per one United States dollar. Right now is mostly on the same level all the time, so it's giving us idea about the stability. So GDP growth in 10 years gave us more than 250%, in 20 years more than 1,100%, which is incredible numbers. Another myth about Bali is that Bali is underdeveloped tourist destination, and it's not convenient for the people to fly here. Yeah, maybe it's not convenient, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And if we look at the TripAdvisor, which is one of the biggest websites for the travelers, then 2021, Bali was #1 tourist destination in the world. And if we look that it's one of the most Instagrammable places in the world, it's always in top 5, top 10. And if we look at the different ratings, for example, Forbes has set up the Canggu area as the 4th best place in the world for the investment in living. And if we look through BBC, Destin Asia, US News, Daily Mail, it's always putting Bali in all the ratings in a top 3 position. The growth here is around 15% yearly. If we're talking about the touristic numbers, yeah, 2019, before the COVID, Bali was visited more than 16 million times by people, and more than 10 million was just the local tourists. So we need to understand that it's more than 270 million local people, and they're using this destination as a very well-known and understandable place for their holidays, and they have money to spend. If we're talking in general about the tourists, that of course the biggest numbers are showing the neighbor countries. If we're talking about Singapore, we're talking about Malaysia, and of course let's not forget China, Australia, India, Japan. This is like the main countries, and then we taking as well a lot of people from Europe. It's getting more and more popular, and it's a lot of things to do in Bali. And another myth is that Bali Island is only surface and everyone lives in bungalows. It's absolutely wrong. Bali has everything, all the infrastructure, from the ecotourism to the VIP tourism, and it's very It's very unique place that you can meet the beautiful nature and then very modern quality service and beautiful places like you see in the pictures, world famous places like Edge or Café del Mar, what most of the people know as well. A lot of people are coming for this kind of atmosphere, for these parties, for this beautiful ocean, cliffs, and amazing hospitalities. Sorry about that. So atmosphere here is insane. And before we're going to continue, I want to tell you that there is over 250 five-star hotels in Bali, and we have all the most famous brands in the world like Marriott, Kempinski, Novotel, Hyatt, Ruffles, Radisson, and much more. Yeah, so all of them are here, and this means that this is a popular destination. Bali has only beaches and not the best ones in the world, and there is nothing to see. This is another myth, what I'm hearing all the time. Look at those pictures. This is the real pictures from the Bali beaches, and they're absolutely insane. I can see on the left bottom corner one of my favorite beaches. It's a dreamland, and there is a Melasti beach and a lot of beautiful white sandy beaches as well. In the same time, if you move a little bit more deep in the middle of the island, you will see black sand beaches, which is a very unique, and some people never seen nothing in their life. It's like small pieces of diamond shining in your hands when you're taking a little bit of that black sand. And as well, we have a lot of cliffs, waterfalls, beautiful nature, world famous rice paddies, which are protected by UNESCO, and some very, very beautiful temples. And Bali has definitely one of the best places for the sunset in the world. And yeah, this all brings those tourists here, as well as an amazing heart of the local people and this beautiful atmosphere in everyday basis. So another myth what we're going to talk about is that you need to be involved, and all the time you need to be here and check everything what is going on with your property. So this is another myth. To make a deal here in Bali, it all can be done in distance. We're using the online signature here officially, the same like in 183 countries in the world. Yeah, and it's not long. It's very easy. You don't have to fly. You don't have to fly anywhere. You don't have to fly anywhere to actually buy the property. Yeah, so, and no risk involved. It's 1 to 3 days to purchase real estate over here, and it can be done remotely. When you're buying real estate from the experienced company with reliable reputation, the risk do not exceed the purchase of the real estate in your country. So it's pretty easy to be done. Give me a second. I think I have some technical issues right now. Just give me a little second. Okay, it's excellent connection. Okay. Let's continue. We're going to talk about purchasing, registration, payments, and taxes in Indonesia. So option for the registration of the real estate for the investors. There are a few main ones. One of them is a freehold, which is the right to full ownership, and it's issued to only citizens of Indonesia. Then the second most popular and famous, it's hak sewa, which is the leasehold contract, and it gives you rights to own the property up to 100 years. And this is the most common form of ownership by the foreigners. There are a few more, yeah, but we're gonna discuss just this two because this is actually what is the most easy, safe, and secure way. We're going to talk about the registration in the name of the foreign buyer. Since 1996, Indonesia regularly simplified the procedure for the foreigner investor to own their real estate. And the main form of ownership is the leasehold contract. It's a hak sewa. This contract gives you full rights to the owner as owner, and to own the land and own the subject on that land, and to resell it, to inherit it, to transfer it. So the full rights, the same like you would own a property in any other country in the world. And more than 90% of all the transactions in Bali are done by this project. So most of the people going to ask, what's going to happen when this leasehold contract going to be finished? What I going to do with that? When it expires, then the land is returned to the owner. Or if you're planning to use this property more in future, you can extend it. And there are two options when you purchase the property: that the extension is already in your contract, or it's not, and then you need to start negotiating with the owner of the land when it comes to the end, and you're not secure in this position. Yeah. For example, with our company, we always put the extension in the contract, so it's very easy to deal later on with the extension. The best option is to start the extension procedure 5 to 10 years before the expiry of your first term. So we're going to talk about the presence in person. Yeah, do you need to be here to actually make this deal? As many people are in a different countries, and they're usually asking, Andrew, do I need to come? And the answer is not. The property is registered after the full payment is made, and then only after that you need to come here, not longer than 30 days after the property is ready, to sign the main leasehold agreement with the local notary. But you can bring your representative who's certified by a notary power of attorney, and he can present you here in place in Bali. So you don't actually need to come. We're going to talk about the payment methods when you're buying the real estate. The base currency over here is Indonesian rupiah. So for all the international transfers, we use Indonesian rupiah, or we accept the payments in US dollars as a transferring the money. It's much easier for most of the people. It's very easy to understand everything in dollars or euros or Australian dollars. So we accept payments in US dollars, Singapore dollars, or we have multi-currency accounts for most of the banks here. And you can pay in cash, you can pay with a wire transfer from any country in the world. We provide you all the necessary paperwork, which allows you to transfer any amount of money from any country. And there is a possibility to transfer your money with a cryptocurrency. It's not actually the payment method, it's the way of transferring money to Indonesia. It's absolutely legal. Usually we're using USDT cryptocurrency to transfer the money from outside Indonesia to Indonesia. Over here, we pay taxes on that. And of course, we're registered that the payment was made in Indonesian rupiah. Another very important thing when you're choosing the property is to check the transaction purity. To protect yourself, it's the best way is to inspect it with an independent law firm or with a notary. The notary is a very good choice. It has the responsibility. You need to show all the purity of the transactions. Otherwise, the notary can be held by the criminal responsibility. About the taxes, when you're purchasing the property in Indonesia, the tax is 11%. It's VAT tax, value added tax. And then from extra expenses, we need to count that there will be a 1% notary fee to do the registration for you to in front of the local government. Yeah, so VAT and the notary fee is paid by the buyer. Income tax is paid in the same time by a builder. The VAT is proportionally included in your payment schedule, if you using the installment plan. And the notary fee is paid only in the last stages of the deal, when you are signing the last leasehold agreement. about the taxes for the owners, yeah, and how much is the tax to resell your property. So ownership of the land and the building is subjected to PBB, Pajak Bumi dan Bangunan tax, and the tax is based on the basic rates for the value of the meter and the building. So actually the total value of the land and the building based on the basic rates is multiplied by 0.2%. And this amount will be your annual tax. So to give you an example, yeah, I can talk a lot, but will be better to give you an example. For a villa which has 150 square meters and a plot of land 4 ara or 400 square meters, the annual tax is going to be around $300. The tax on income, if you're renting or you're selling real estate in Indonesia, is 10%. We need to remember that as well. So why to invest in Bali? The Bali showing the top numbers in the world on average annual return of investment. Right now, it's on 12 to 15%. If we're talking about the Thailand, which is a very popular touristic destination as well, it's around 8%. Dubai now showing around 6%. And if we're talking about Europe, it's not over than 5.5%. And if we're talking about neighbor countries like Singapore, it's around 0 to 2%. Why is that? Because it's crazy expensive prices for property over there, and the rental prices are not catching the actual prices when people are purchasing. So they are, in some cases, even paying from their pocket to rent that property out. Yeah, so it's a very fast growing market here in Bali, and we already beat all the neighbor countries. We beat the Philippines and Vietnam and different popular touristic destinations by the ocean. Why you need to invest in Bali? So it's very easy. Yeah, there are a few big factors which are actually bringing those profits. The season here is all year round. Right now it's a rainy season. Yeah, it's November, December, January, but in the same time, those months are the peak season. Yeah, so they are the most famous months when everyone is coming to Bali. So the average occupancy rate through all year is around 70 to 80%. And increase in the rental income is around 15% per year. It's very comfortable and secure place to live. It's stable, reliable, growing economy, emerging market, and it's a very friendly country to everyone. As well, it's not only private sector who's investing in Bali right now, it's the whole government's coming to Bali, investing huge numbers. Last week, we had the Bloombergs giving us the idea with what's going on here in Bali, and they had a really big post about big companies investing $6 billion in a Sanur area, yeah, which is becoming the new tourist center in Bali. It was always one of the most popular touristic destinations, but now it's a big changes, and I will talk about that a little bit later. But right now, I would like to mention a few big projects which are coming in Bali. Now, one of them is the construction of the new international airport. The second one, which was announced this March, and all the papers are signed already, it's the construction, one of the largest theme park from Paramount Pictures in Southeast Asia. So they want to beat the one in Singapore from Universal Pictures. Over here, we're going to have a Paramount. Then the planning to construct of the Formula One in northwest of Bali, and it's almost finished, the construction of the new port for the cruise liners. And last week, President was opening the first part of the harbor for the yachts and speedboats taking people to the neighbor islands. So the G20 summit, as I said earlier, was held here in November, and it brought a lot of news. A lot of news, a lot of money, and a lot of huge projects. Right now, we're gonna talk about limits. Over here, we have limits in the land, so there's not a lot of land left to build some property. If we're talking about the famous touristic destinations like Canggu, then this area is already built up for more than 90%. If we're talking about Sanur, where all the tourism in Bali actually started, then this area is 99% built up. If we look at the whole island, then only 1/20th of the island can be used for the tourists. And you see those purple dots, so this is actually the areas for the tourists. And most of the tourism is actually located in Ubud, located in Canggu, Seminyak, Kuta area, and then in Bukit Peninsula. If we look at the occupancy rates right now, you can use AirDNA. It's actually a beautiful website where you can check the occupancy rate in some particular areas all around the world, and it's calculating it from the data from the Agoda and Booking, Airbnb, and all this kind of websites from all over the world. So if we look at the area where I'm located right now, the occupancy rate here is 91%, and it's growing and growing right now in this reality. You cannot find anything. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's very hard to get a quality property. So what could be the pitfalls of buying real estate? So when you're choosing, how you're choosing, yeah? So you're choosing beautiful villa, good location, yeah, but neighbors, noisy neighbors, there is some pig farm or there is something else going on next to you, which is gonna disturb you or the clients who are gonna be using this villa as their holiday home. Second option could be that it's close to ocean. Yeah, it's very cool design, but then to get to some big shop, you need to say it will take you around half an hour drive. Villa has a great view on the ocean, but the land in front of you is not owned by the same owner, and someone gonna build something in front of you. And then the best value for money and the very good quality, but it's far away, it's miles away, it's a few hours away from all the infrastructure. Yeah, so this could be an issue as well. So in the beginning, when you're choosing the property, you need to understand exactly what is the purpose of purchasing the property here. One option could be for living. A lot of people are dreaming to move to Bali and enjoy this beautiful island with amazing weather, great culture, and very open-hearted people. Second option is the rental income. This is what a lot of people are looking. They never been to Bali, or they're not planning to stay here permanently or even temporary. They just buying this as a business. Yeah, so passive income. And the third option is to combine both of those purposes. For example, having your breakaway couple times of a year, or to stay here in the winter time when in your country it's cold or something. And then the rest of the time to use this as a business, which can bring you a good profit. So all these options are possible over here. So you need to find a balance in between your needs and the demand on the market. Yes, many people are dreaming about ocean view, but they are buying some land in the middle of nowhere where no roads, nothing around, no supermarkets. Yeah, so you need to think, is if there will be demand on this kind of villa, how many percentage of people will choose that villa, or they will choose something in more central location. So we're gonna go through the 16 criteria for buying real estate in Bali. So first, what you need to think about is beachfront and ocean view. Yeah, this is a good option. Then you need to check your budget, location, property time. Is it finished or it's under construction? Exterior, interior, and materials what are used to build that villa. Amenities and infrastructure, access to the property, surroundings, demand on this kind of property, living conditions, management, profitability, lease terms, land area, and a property uniqueness. Yeah, we're gonna go through all this question, and in 20 minutes, you will get the idea how to choose your property. So most of the people are saying, I want ocean front. Yeah, I want to buy a villa in Bali, and 95% of the buyers want to buy real estate by the ocean, but they don't understand that actually all the touristic areas in Bali is already, all the beachfront is taken by the big hotels. Either it's a cliffs, either it's a beaches where it's impossible to swim, or it is not touristic location and it's a very difficult to access that beaches. Yeah, so it's almost impossible to buy a beachfront property here in Bali. So almost impossible. But 95% are giving us a call or texting us only for that reason. So we're gonna go through all the locations what are possible here now, and it's the most famous touristic areas. We're gonna talk about Sanur, Bukit, Kuta Seminyak, and the Canggu area. Yeah, of course, Bukit is a very big part, and over there you can find some cliff properties with the ocean view. So we're going to talk about Sanur. It's a beautiful area. All the tourism in Bali actually started from the area, and 2 weeks ago, Sanur became the special economical zone, only one and the first one in the Southeast Asia where going to be allowed the medical tourism. It's already announced by the government. It's announced by a big medias. So it's a done deal, and 95% already finished the construction of the biggest medical center, and another 42 hectares of the land in Sanur are given by the government to the big companies from the United States and Japan to build clinics, to build facilities for the medical tourism. So it will be one of the most famous areas in the whole Southeast Asia. Beautiful white sandy beach, all the needed infrastructure is there. Nusa Penida is another area not far from Sanur, and this area is very famous for their hotel. So most of the 5-star hotels in Bali are located in that area. They are taking all the possible beachfront areas in that location. Jimbaran, look at that. On the left side, we have the international airport. And then all beachfront side is taken by the hotels as well. It's really busy. If we look at the whole Bukit Peninsula, yeah, and south and southwest, then it's a huge cliffs, 200-300 meters high cliffs all along the coastline, with a few little spots for the beautiful beaches like a Dreamland or Melasti. And yeah, so you don't build a lot on those cliffs, and if you do, it's a very expensive prices for that. So what could be the disadvantages of a villa on the cliff? As a rule, there is no direct access to the beach. 90% of the coastline is not suitable for the swimming, lack of infrastructure in the area, and it's very difficult to call a cab or a taxi there. And it's a huge cost to have a property on the cliff. If we're talking about the Kuta and Seminyak, then it's a very well-developed areas, a lot of shops, bars, restaurants, and a different kind of infrastructure, but it's already taken a long time ago. We're talking about the Canggu area, yeah, which is right now, all the world is talking about the Canggu. It's a beautiful area, but it's just 3.5 kilometers long. And the coastline is already taken. Everything is built up over there. If we go behind the Canggu area, like areas like Chimagi, Tabanan, Tanalot, yeah, look at these beautiful areas, a lot of greens, a lot of rice paddies, but there is not a lot of infrastructure over there. And the main problem with that to get to the airport, to get to another areas, you need to cross the Raya Canggu Street, which is gonna take you to the huge traffic jam, and you will spend an hours in the traffic. Yeah. if we look now on few properties on the cliffs, it's a very great potential to resell it much more expensive. And I found few very good properties right now for sale in Uluvalo. One of them was the 5-bedroom villa, and the price for it, it's $3.3 million. This is pretty reasonable price. I've seen bigger one. If we look at another option, then it's $4 million. It's a fair price as well. Look at this beauty. Yeah, it's not new, it's not built now, but it is worth $4 million. Is the land and the view. People are ready to overpay millions of dollars. So is it good ocean view? Yes, for sure. It's a high yield. It's easy to resell. It grows in value all the time as there is less and less options like this on the market. And it's a maximum occupancy. Yeah, so you can get a lot of cash owning a property with the ocean view. What could be bad cons? It's a high cost. So when you buy property on the cliff with the ocean view, usually you pay a little bit more for that view. Yeah, it's difficult to preserve the views, as if there is something in between the ocean and you, there's always possibility that someone else gonna build something over there. Yeah, and usually there is no facilities around that, and it's the bad roads taking you and leading you to that particular cliff. We're gonna talk about the cost and different kind of factors which are related to this team. So location, oceanfront or ocean view, lease terms, exterior finishing, management system, and amenities. This all affects the cost of your property. So most of the people, when they're thinking about buying a villa in Bali, their expectations are like those villas in front of you right now. But the reality is what you see right now on the screen. And when most of the people are coming to Bali, they are renting a villa and they see something like that. A Balinese style, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's very hard to keep it nice and tidy. This is another question. The grass is getting yellow. The wooden parts are getting in a very bad shape pretty quickly after the rainy season because they're all the time under the sun. So it's very hard to keep the property in a good shape. Now we're gonna discuss the location. Yeah, and this is one of the main issues that you need to have you have to pay a lot of attention. Yeah, 80% of success of your business, if you're buying property as a business, then it's to choose the right location. So one of the factors is the area is a tourist destination. You can check it easily. Is it mentioned in all the Google Maps, how many good restaurants, bars, and facilities are in that area? What is the trend of the development in that area? What is the primary audience that lives in that area? What are the needs for the area? And what is the possibility of the future growth and for this area and for your property? How close it is to amenities needed to live in the area? What kind of infrastructure is over there? And what are the average occupancy rates for the similar properties? So you need to check all that before you purchasing the property. There is only few touristic areas for living and investment in Bali. So it's not hard to choose. Ubud is a great place. It's very nice, very green, but it's a lot of rains. It's a very specific crowd over there. It's far from the ocean. It's more jungles. It's raining really often over there as well. Plus, there is a lot of land over there. So if you're buying a property there or you're building a property over there, it's not gonna grow in a value the same like it would be growing in any other area. Then we're talking about Canggu, Seminyak areas, very famous, but there is a very few plots of lands for sale in those areas. It's already very well developed. Sanur is a great spot. Yeah, it's 99% built already. There is everything what is needed for the comfortable living. Some people saying that that is an area for the pensioners. I'm always saying, yes, this is the people who work all their life, save their money, and right now they deserve a great place to stay and enjoy their retirement. And with all those news, with all the infrastructure right now in Sanura, I believe it is the best place. Bukit is the great spot as well. We have few properties over there, but there are few buts. For example, you have the villa close to Balangan Beach and you want to get to the good supermarket. The closest supermarket from there is 31-minute drive. Yeah, or opposite, we choose the Pandava Beach and then we want to go to a big supermarket. Again, the same thing, half an hour drive. If we're talking about Canggu area and what is left behind, like Sesek, Chemagi, and other areas over there, Perenan, if we're talking about that, then you see that red line. This is right Canggu. This is very well-known street for everyone who've been in Bali and Canggu. Yeah, you get stuck there in traffic because this is the only road where all the cars, all the trucks, everyone is driving through that street, and it's always a traffic jam there. Then we're going to discuss the property types. So there are a few of them. Villas, if we talk about villas, there are two options as well. One is a villa in a complex. The second one is detached villa somewhere in the middle. If we're talking about the apartments, then there are two options again. It's a hotel format where you have all the facilities there. And then there is just apartments with no facilities, nothing. You just buy a flat and you use it how you want. And there are a few more options like townhouses and bungalows, and we're going to discuss about that. So first of all, I want to mention that there are more than 3,500 hotels and more than 250 five-star hotels with an average occupancy rate close to 80%. So this format of the property works here really well. And occupancy rates are bigger than for most of the villas. Villas are hundreds, thousands, and they have good occupancy rates, but some villas are good, some villas are not very well developed and very well made. So if we're talking about villa or apartment, yeah, there are always something to choose from. Let's talk about that, about the apartments. What is for the apartments? So the location in the complex. Yeah, this is a very good thing. No need to deal with the property maintenance issues as the company should deal with that. 24-hour security, this is good. Yeah, no one gonna rob you a flat or something. Availability of the infrastructure and all the amenities in the complex, this is huge plus. And then it's a convenient location. Usually those apartment complexes are located in a nice location close to all the touristic amenities. What is against that? You don't have your own territory. Yeah, you just have a flat or apartment, smaller, bigger, doesn't matter. And then you have to deal with the people who live next to you, with your neighbors. These options of are very well suitable for the personal living, and there is no problem with that. So apartment complexes, small complexes, usually it's one building with few apartments, no infrastructure, maybe some reception, maybe not, small territory, and usually they don't have their own management company, so you need to deal with those apartments yourself. So you buy it and you find a way how to rent it, how to make profit, or if you live there, you deal with everything what is necessary with cleaning and all the things. Then there are larger like hotel type of complexes. As a rule, the complexes have everything you need to live, like a gym, all the infrastructure. They're located in some central location. They have a high level of service, well developed, and they have their own management system, which is going to take care of all your needs. About the villas, the great thing that when you own the villa, you have your own private area, you have a garden, you have a swimming pool. Usually it's much more space than if you would live in a flat, and then you have your own privacy. What are the bad parts owning a villa? Yeah, there are no necessary amenities for the life. There is no security as a rule, so you need to hire security. It will get to your expenses, and they're gonna go higher and higher. It's a high cost for grounds and maintenance, high cost for the repairs if something is broken. It's expensive to extend the lease, and you need to think about that as well. Yeah, if you're buying a villa, you need to add the lease extension as well to your expenses. And you need to choose the property more careful, considering many factors. And we're going to discuss that. Villa in a complex, yeah, it's great. You have your private area, you have your garden, you have swimming pool, you have more common areas, you have your security, staff management service, and you have all the surrounding infrastructure. So this is ideal option for the personal life. It's great for the rental business. You can combine both of those two things. Yeah, so you have like advantages of the apartments and the private villa, but you lack most of their disadvantages. So it's very important. Villa or apartment, you need to choose and you need to check how much demand for this real estate format in that particular area. If I would give you now the apartment complex somewhere in Ahmed, it would not work. No one need apartments in Ahmed. Over there are some nice houses, townhouses and villas, and it's a great spot for the people to live. Apartments, I believe, would not gonna work because usually that area is visited by the tourists who are coming for 1-2 days. They want more space. They want to see the beauty of the area. Yeah, and then you need to check what are the occupancy rate for this type of property in area, and how much does the similar format of the property rent is. Then the next question, which is very important, is to buy a finished property or under construction. Finished option, it's less risk associated with the fact that the object will not going to be completed or so on. And it is much more profitable in the construction stage. So if you're buying villa, which is under the construction, you will pay less and you get more profit. And let's discuss this more closely. During the construction phase, if you're buying a property, or if you're buying when it's already built, the built version is much more expensive. It won't be easy to resell for more, and usually gonna remain on the same price. Then I will give you example. You buy a villa under construction for $300,000. After the construction is completed, the price for the same villa going to be around $450,000. So it's it's a 50% higher price. In the same case, during the year, you earn 50% in increase the value of the object. So you get a 50% higher yield than if you would buy a ready-made villa. In another case, if you buy a ready villa, it will start bringing you money today directly. But in average, it's 10-15% a year. So you're earning those 15%, but in the same time, you would earn 50% just on the price increasement of your villa. So it's much more. And another option for you about the apartments, you buy apartments and the construction stage for $150,000, and immediately you hand them over to the management company. Yeah, so they're gonna search for the tenants, they're gonna do the maintenance, and it's so on. So it's fully managed property. The cost of the daily rent for those kind of apartments will be around $160 per night, yeah, which is the average price for a hotel room. Taking into the account all the costs, your yield will be around 14% per annum, with a further increase, which will make it that over 5 years, your yield will be more than $105,000 or 70% of the investment amount. Yeah. the approximate value of those apartments after the construction will be around 225,000. So let's assume that you have bought an apartment for 225,000. In this case, your return in 5 years will be also 105,000, but it will be only 46% of the investment amount, because then you paid more as you bought it when it was already done. Yeah, and imagine in 5 years, you want to sell your real estate. Given the annual growth in the land and home value, you can assume the price will be around 270,000. If you had invested during the construction phase, your total return is 150% or 225,000. Yeah, so 105,000 from your rental and 120 is your price appreciation. If you had bought a complete property, your return of investment is $150,000 or just 66%. So 105, remember, we got from the rental, and then 45,000 increase in the value. So 66% and 150%. So the net profit after the resale of the property in 5 years is almost a double. It's more than a double in the case of if you would buy it on a construction size. The next question, what we're going to discuss is exterior, interior, quality, and reliability. Yeah, so you need to check the quality of the construction, thoroughfulness of the exterior, quality of the materials used while they were building. How practical are those materials? Will they gonna get in a bad condition after a year or 2 or 3, or you can reuse them, you can polish them? Are you using the natural materials, or are you using some new technologies? How long has the property been built? Does it need to be repaired? And you always need to search for the hidden defects. Yeah, so local villas, they usually look like this, and there are thousands and thousands of the options like that on the market right now. This how the modern villas look like, and you don't find a lot of this type of property on the market. And for example, now in November, December time, doesn't matter how much money you have, it's very hard to find a good quality modern style villa, as they booked year in front, and right now the prices are incredibly high. About the furniture, yeah, as well, most of the villas now, they are in a local style, a lot of wood, a lot of rattan, a lot of natural stuff. Yeah, but they're not practical. It's not very comfy to sit. This how looks the modern furniture and the finishing. Yeah, this is the modern style. This is what people want. I will explain you why. So Bali right now is visited by very interesting crowd of people. We have people coming from the business centers like Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, Moscow, New York. Yeah, people from Miami are coming here, and from different places from all over the world. And if they got used to quality in their cities back home, why should they live in a bungalow when they're coming for their holidays? They're coming for holidays to spend the best time of their life, and they want a good quality. So they're ready to pay for those beautiful moments, and they want to be surrounded by the beauty. And yeah, so this is very important, what kind of furniture you're choosing and what is the finishing. To rent those properties, when people are going to be going on booking or something and they see this kind of picture or this kind of picture, I bet they're ready to overpay to get the number one option. Then we're going to talk about the infrastructure and amenities. You need to pay the attention how developed is the complex where you're purchasing your property. What are the amenities, and are they created for living, or they created for some other purpose? And maybe there are a lot of shops in the complex, but you don't need them, you don't use this, it's not your style, it's not your type. Then the infrastructure within the complex should be justified. Yeah, so everything needs to have a reason. I'll give you example. We have a Sky Ocean View complex. It's 90% finished right now. So what we have over there, we have just the lobby, 24-hour security service. We have service personnel, again, 24/7. And we have villa parking with their own drivers. So we didn't spend money for the gym, for the restaurant, for any other facilities, because who would pay for that? Of course, the owners of those villas. We would not pay from our pocket to give all this to the client. So the actual cost of it would be divided in between villa owners. So we took the getaway, we gave them a good price for that. We bought some very good cars for them. We have a driver. If they need to go somewhere 500 meters away from the complex, their gym, restaurant, and everything, they can use the driver, they can go for a walk, they can take a bicycle. Yeah, but when they purchasing that property, they didn't spend extra penny for anything else except what they have in their villa. Another very, very important question is roads and driveways and access to the villa. So when you think about getting into the villa, you expect that it's a villa. I paid a lot of money for that. It's a beautiful villa. So everyone expect a good roads, but it's a reality. It's a Bali, and usually roads and driveways look like this. Even the cars in most of the options cannot get you to the entrance to the villa. So imagine people who are purchasing that online or something, then getting here and getting so disappointed about this driveway. So you need to check that in a very, very beginning. This is just the print screen from this area, which is on the left-hand side from me. Yeah, so it's already built. We cannot do nothing with the roads. So all those gangs over here, all those little streets, they're very, very tiny driveways in that. So you need to check the driveways. I will give you example. My good friend from Germany, he bought a villa over here. He did his renovation, what so on, but after 2 weeks after the purchase, the owner of the driveway came to him, the Australian guy came and said, look, yeah, you have a beautiful villa, but this road which takes to your villa is owned by me, and you need to pay some money. I want 500 million rupiah for that. So he paid, and then after some time, another guy came and said, I have 2 square meters of the road in the beginning of this road. You need to pay me as well, otherwise I will not let your guest or you to enter your villa, and you cannot do nothing with that. There are some dodgy stuff going on like this on the market, so you need to be very careful, and please double check if the driveway to your villa, to your apartments, is owned or is registered in your paperwork. Yeah, so let's talk about the demand and the purpose of the real estate. So there are large luxury villas, there are apartments and apartment complexes, and there are townhouses right now. These 3 options are very, very popular, and it's a huge demand on that. Terms and condition on the real estate ownership. So you need to double check. Is there any residency limits? What goes with accommodation and what are the limits? Are there any restrictions on sale? And are there any restrictions on independent rental? Yeah, many companies have different options, so you need to double check that as well in the very beginning before making and dealing with that. Another very important thing is the management. The company, is it maintaining your property? Does it renting it out, or what does the company? Does the company takes care of all the matters, including restoration and other payments and taxes and what so on? Options for renting your property. What kind of options are there? Is it independent renting? Is it individual renting through the management company? Or is it renting through the pool system? We're gonna go through all those questions right now. More than 70% of the requests are for the properties in the complex with the management company. This is what people want. They want to purchase the property and not to have a headache how to manage it, how to get the better occupancy rates. They want someone do it for them who they can trust. So buying a villa without the management gonna bring you a lot of headache. Yeah, you need to check on ongoing personal control, about the maintenance and overhaul. You need to search, you need to recruit, you need to train and supervise of staff. You need to search for the client and the placement of client. There will be a cost for the licenses and permits to operate, as you cannot rent it out illegally. You need to have all the legal paperwork. Yeah, it's bookkeeping and taxes, it's expenses, and it's time as well. You cannot do it yourself. You need to hire a professional who will do it for you. And it's a higher real estate maintenance cost in this case. So we're going to talk about the profits. How are the profits disturbed, and what kind of reporting will you receive, and how do you monitor your property? There are a few options as well. Yeah, one of that, you need to clearly understand the formation of the profitability. Yeah, what kind of management system and what percentages is taken by the management for what reason. And if the company rents out each object separately, there are big chances that they will not rent your particular property, or it will be under the normal occupancy rates. The second option is the pool management system, and it's a very big demand along the investors right now for this kind of system. What does it mean? So all the profit from all the apartments, for example, they go in one big pot and then divided in between all the owners in the same part. So in this case, we can get a bigger profit, yeah, and more chances that those profits on average gonna be higher. So you need to check the calculations of the company where you're purchasing the property from very beginning. Usually they look like this on the left side. Yeah, they just give you property value, they expected daily rent, and then occupancy rates, and they give you return of investment of 12%. On the right side, at the same time, you see our calculations. So we're inputting all the taxes, all the expenses, OTA commissions, and much more. Yeah, this how it looks, the professional calculation. And what does it include? It's including rental prices, occupancies, taxes and services, OTA commission, which is commission of booking, Airbnb, Agoda, and what's on. Management expenses, maintenance expenses, water, electricity bills, depreciation, land extension. All this need to be over there in those calculations to give you a better idea and the more correct numbers. How to check all those calculations? Yeah, first you can check the occupancy rates in that area. I told you that there is AirDNI website where you can check, or there is a lot of open sources where you can check what are the occupancy rates. Then you check the cost of living in the similar offers. It's easy to do. You go on Booking or you go in Airbnb and you check what are the prices for the similar property. And you, of course, you need to check how many similar offers are on in that area. This all gonna affect your profits as well. Now we're gonna talk about the lease terms and the trends. Yeah, so what are the lease terms here in Bali? 25 years is a standard contract of leasehold here. If you buy a property for the purpose of the investment and resale, then please take a longer period, as it will be much easier to resell. Then trends are changing here in Bali every 10 years. And with them, gradually, the cost of land in the particular areas is changing as well, and the average occupancy and payback on real estate as well. So when the trends are changing, it is important to have a sufficient residual period for the resale, and the object is rising in the prices. So if you plan to resell in 5 years, buy something with a 30 years period. If you plan to invest for 10 years, buy 35 years. And when you sell, the buyer will have a standard 25 years, but you already use that property for 5 or 10 years. So in the remaining lease terms is lower, the price gonna be falling as well. So if you buy for 25, you use for 10, you can resell only 15 years. So the price for your property gonna be much, much lower. But if you would buy for 35 years, you use that for 10 years, you give it back to the market, and it's a standard 25 years. So your property is on the peak of the price. Size of the land. Yeah, many people say that size don't matter. Yeah, it does. Yeah, size does matter. And in our days, most of the developers are actually building something on very tiny plots of land. They're using 1-2 area to build 2 villas. And this is insane. I've been to those villas and I'm feeling like I'm in a box. Now is a big demand for a bigger plot of land, but why there is nothing on the market? It's because the land right now costs a lot. There's not a lot of land left in a touristic areas. Even when you're building or something in a smaller plot of land, just think what kind of advantages you can add to that to increase the value. We have a complex, yes, Star Villas complex. It's not big plots of land, but it's on top of the cliff, and every villa is actually made that it has the ocean view for the night city, and as well it has a view on the runway of the main airport. Most of the villas in Bali look like this: smaller plots of land, wall. So it feels like a box, but still it's a $500,000 worth villa. Yeah, because there is nothing else on the market. So what makes project unique? Yeah, why will the property be in demand for the rent? Why should they buy your property? And how quickly and expensively it can be resold? So this is what you need to check as well. Okay, now we're going to the next stage. And we're going to talk a little bit thorough check. A private person or a company, who to buy from. Yeah, when you're checking who is the builder, the risk with the private person is very high, because in case of the trouble, there is nothing, and where you're going to find that person, it's another question. If it's a company, what properties they already sold, what properties do they have, who are the owners, and what they did before, and how much money do they have? Because over here, in case of the company get bankrupt, the owners are fully responsible for that, and all their assets going to be sold by the government, and the money will be given back to the investors. There's a very strict laws and rules here in Indonesia. So please, before you're buying anything, check all the statutory documents for the company and for the land. What is important to check? Who owns the land? The full land certificate verification procedure can take more than a month, because you have to verify everything, even neighbors, was their allowance from the local community. Yeah, and if it's not, yeah, then you cannot do the deal. The construction will be illegal. It's very important to talk with everyone. Yeah, with the Banjars, with the locals, with the neighbors. Very, very important thing to do. You should also check to see if the property and the surrounding area are encouraging on the neighbor lots, or you need to pay particular attention to the access to the house, whose road it is. Yeah, I was talking about the roads before. I gave you a little idea why to check the roads. Yeah, and it needs to be legally documented that you have allowance to use that particular road. Otherwise, you have a risk to become like my very good friend. So another thing to check is the purchase agreement. One of the most important things is to check the purchase agreement. In our case, it's called MOU, for example. If the project is under the construction, then MOU contract, which is a memorandum of understanding, is signed in the first place. And then you need to check if the construction is completed, then it will be a notarized leasehold contract, and it will be signed with a local notary. You need to check what restrictions are imposed on you by the company in that document. Yeah, so very important to double check everything in the very beginning. What are the rules and what are the conditions, and what are the conditions on the further extension. Then we need to check the site specifically and all the building permits. It's pretty easy to do as well. You can hire a local notary company or the lawyer's company, and they will check for all the building permits. As for the information, there is a different zoning of the land, and yeah, certain types of the property cannot or can be built in that particular zone. It is necessary to order and check with the local notaries and the lawyers who will be responsible for the reliability and transaction. We're providing all the paperwork if it's needed, even before we're going into the deal. How do we build and what is important for our company? Now I will give you a little idea on what we building and what is important for us. So at the moment, we have two biggest apartment complexes for sale in the whole Bali. One of them is the Umala Signature, where I'm located right now. It's the biggest apartment complex in a touristic zone. It has a beautiful ocean view behind my back to Baraba Beach. It's 500 meters from Fins, which is the biggest beach club in the world. So great location, beautiful rice paddies behind my back and in front of the building. Second complex, we're starting sales on the 17th of December. It's a very unique project. This is the only one actually beachfront property in Bali, in Sanur main street. Main beach. Yeah, and we're building a proper 5-star apartment complex with the hotel licenses, with the beach clubs and everything. I will give you a little more idea in 10 minutes. So what else we have? We have some villas. Amara Villa Hotel. It's already available for sale from next Monday. So on Monday, you can actually purchase those beautiful villas. Stunning one-bedroom premium villas located just 2 minutes from here, in between the Umalas and Seminyak area. It's a proper investment project with a high return. It will bring you around 14 to 16% already in the first year as its existing complex. We are actually demolishing everything and rebuilding it. So in 6 months, you can start getting your profits. And the cost for this villas are just 235,000 on a pre-sale for one-bedroom apartment, for one-bedroom villa. The second complex, what I would like to mention, is the Alam Boutique Villas. They are located 50 meters from our complex, and it's a premium villas. Going to be ready in 6 months. There are few 3-bedroom villas and some one-bedroom villas available. The big advantage of this complex that it is just next door to the Humalas apartment complex. So the people who own the property there, they can use all the five-star amenities from our complex and more than 5,000 square meters infrastructure. Another project, it's a Skystar Ocean View Villas. You've seen already, it was in my presentation earlier where I was showing the ocean views. Over there, at the moment, we don't have anything. It's a fully sold out. It's a very unique project. And then we have another beautiful project located in the same street here in Umalas, just behind the biggest tennis courts in Bali, Liga Tennis. It's a luxury villa complex in a gated residence, just 500 meters from the main touristic street, the Rava Street, and 5 minutes to the biggest nightclubs in Southeast Asia. So it's a stunning interior, and it's a huge plot of land and a very, very big villa. So more than 700 square meters villa on over 8 RL land. So you have your own garden, you have 3 chill out areas outside, you have 3 living rooms inside, you have your own spa, you have your own gym, barbecue area on the rooftop. So it's one of the most unique villas in the whole area, and it's just $2,000 per square meter, as this villa is on price of $1.5 million. About the Umala's signature project, it's 90% done. We already have show units. Right now, I'm sitting actually on the 2nd floor over here. Yeah, on the 3rd floor, gonna be gym, rooftop bar, and spas, and a lot of different things on the rooftop. Yeah, it's actually over 4,000 square meters on the rooftop. We're gonna have a beach club over there, infinity pool, a cinemas as well, 5-star restaurant, gym, yoga studio, co-working area, golf simulator, pool bar, conference rooms, commercial areas, restaurants, cinemas. Yeah, I mentioned all that already. It's the very unique formats of the property, and we are the first one who actually be building something like that. There are still few options available in this particular complex, so just get in contact with your manager, and they're gonna give you the full detail explanation about any project, what you're gonna hear right now. Or I will leave my phone number as well and email, and you can contact us anytime. So this apartment complex is gonna be launched very soon, next year, and gonna be starting bringing money to the investors. There was 2 options available, 1 bedroom studio and then 2 bedroom apartments. Right now, all 2 bedroom apartments are sold out, but check, maybe something is coming back to the market, check with your manager. So the location is just fantastic. It's 4 minutes to the biggest beach club in the world, and 4 minutes to the beach. You can see from the top floors, you can see the beautiful ocean. And even where I'm sitting right now, just behind my back, I can see the ocean. So what it's gonna bring you? It's gonna bring you from 11 to 15%. And this is net average annual return. What we did our calculation. This complex has the hotel license, so it's fully managed. Any damages, breakages, whatever, gonna be done by our company. We do the full insurance of those apartments. It's a proper hotel in the middle of the touristic destination. The second project, I will not spend a lot of time on that, as this is sold out already. This is stunning Skystar luxury villas as well. They're 90% done. They're gonna be ready by the end of the first quarter 2023. So very, very soon. So Those villas are located in a Bukit area, and there would be bringing from 12 to 18% return of investment. In a Skystar Royal Residence, which is actually located by the end of the street, there are some phenomenal design. Actually, we spent more than a year to do the design for this amazing villa. Here we have a big plot of land, so this villa is great option for those who love comfortable living, who wants to own one of the best villas in Bali. So this is that villa, and it's only one villa left actually in the whole complex. Everything else is sold out. So please check the availability. If you're interested, you still have a chance to get one of the most beautiful villas in Canggu area. It's a luxury design. Each piece of that villa, we already have it. We already purchased that marble, what you see on the wall. Yeah, it's all natural materials, natural stones we use for the decoration. We have all that furniture. We bring it from outside Indonesia, and we're making a really, really comfortable villas for you. Location is just fantastic. I was telling you, yeah, it's just 4 minutes away from the Fins, Penedo Head, and Atlas Beach Fest. Just 50 meters away, we have the biggest tennis courts. It's a La Liga tennis. These villas can be combined. You can live there or you can rent them out, and there's not a lot of property this style, so it will be easy to rent it out for a lot of money, and the returns are absolutely insane there. Then on the 1st of December, we start the sale of Alam Villas. It's a hotel type villas located 50 meters away from where I'm sitting right now. Actually, we're doing a lot of job for the Umalas area to develop the whole area. And right now, if you've been here 3-5 years ago and you would come now, you would not actually recognize the area, as there is a lot of shops, bars, restaurants opened recently, and a very beautiful buildings around. So over here in this complex, it was existing complex, because now there is a problem with the land in Bali. So we actually bought the existing complex. We demolished all the buildings over there, and we're building right now the beautiful villas for that complex. It's located 50 meters from our Umalas apartment complex. So it will be 11 one-bedroom villas and then 9 3-bedroom villas. Price will be starting from $250 and going up to $550,000 on the pre-sale. It's already possible to book one of those beautiful villas for yourself. It will bring you a really high numbers, as the people who are staying in those villas or who own those villas, they can use all the facilities, 5,000 square meters of the facilities of another complex. Yeah, 5 minutes to the ocean, private security, your own lobby. There is no grass which is gonna be yellow in a year. It's all modern style with using the best materials to create this very special villa. It's a 5.5 ara land as well, which is a lot. I know some developers were using 5.5 ara to build 5.5 villas. Yeah, so, but we're talking about the quality. It's not really expensive. This is less than the average price right now on the market, but it's a lot of add-ons to this particular villa. Location, same location, fantastic design. We've thought about every centimeter. It has the same on the ceiling. You see this big round on the ceiling, so you can watch the star. What this villa is going to bring you on the worst conditions, it will bring you from 12% in the first year. Yeah, if we're talking about future 5 years, it will bring you average on 15 to 18% income. As before, those villas were actually bringing a lot of money, and they were rented. 1-bedroom villa was rented $200 a day. and a 3-bedroom, $500 a day. With the new design, with the new villas in the same location, we can get much higher numbers. One of the last projects what I would like to talk about villas. Yeah, it's Amara Villas. Very easy and very understandable. It's already available for sale. It's 10 one-bedroom villas. They have a spa in the complex. It's a touristic locations. It's 5 minutes from the ocean. So it's working. It was rented $170 per night, and the occupancy rate in the last month was close to 100%. On average, it's 90% occupancy rate. And yeah, very easy. You buy a villa, it brings you money, it brings you a good money, and everyone's happy. Great design and a good service. This is actually a few things which make it work. So it will be easy bringing you 12 to 14%. And the last project, what I would like to pay more attention, this is our Magnum Residence Sanur. This is one of the most fantastic projects right now in Bali, or the best one. So let's talk about that. Beachfront, your own beach. There's two options for sale right now. It's apartment complex. So 1-bedroom apartment, it's 101 square meter. 2-bedroom apartment, it's 204 square meters. It's white sandy beach with no waves. It's ocean views from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor. It's more than 8,000 square meters infrastructure. It's a great apartment design, like in the best hotels in Dubai, where the property is $15,000-$20,000 per square meter. So we turned all the balconies to the ocean, so every apartment has the ocean view, and the ones who own the property on the ground floor, they're gonna have their own private swimming pool, which is gonna be 7.5 meters wide and 150 meters long. For all the rest of the people, there will be a huge beach club in front with a lot of swimming pools, so they can enjoy daytime there. So luxury, style, and it's something what we want to input in those apartments, as there is nothing actually similar to that on the market right now. So big apartments, half of the apartments are inside, and we made the extra space outside. It's a second living room outside with your own jacuzzi, with a dining area, with a sofa area, so some people can chill inside, some outside. It's something what is in demand right now as well. So if we're talking about the amenities, yeah, this complex is going to have all the necessary for the comfortable living. It will have their own beach club, and it's just oceanfront. Lounge bar, it will be the highest lounge bar in Bali, 50 meters high, where you can overlook the Agung volcano and you can overlook Nusa Penida Island. It's going to have spa, co-working, fitness centers, yoga, kids playground, and much more. So the first and only, in the last years, no one actually was building anything similar beachfront where you could buy it as a private investors. Either it was not a beachfront, either it was just a hotel where you were not able to buy anything for yourself. In this complex, we don't have any restrictions as well, so you can live there all 12 months a year. You can rent it out with us, or you can rent it out yourself. So it's just 20 minutes drive from the international airport. It's cruise ship harbor in the same area. It's a first private yacht harbor in the area, opened last week, and it's the boat access to all the islands around, like Nusa Penida, Nusa Ceningan, Nusa Lembangan. So it's a very perfect place for the kids and family, and all the beaches there are suitable for swimming and all kind of beach activities. You can find the water sports and everything what is needed for the comfortable living. This how we're gonna look over there. You see that around it's usually small bungalows or small hotels. So we're gonna be the first and the best 5-star facility over there, built recently. As I was mentioning earlier, 95% people are buying properties or asking to buy a property on beachfront, or 90% asking for the ocean views. And more than 75% of requests for the real estate is that they want to buy a hotel format. So we combine it all into one, and we brought that beautiful project to the market. And many people asking who gonna buy it, who needs it. We did a big research about the Dubai properties over there. The average cost of the off-plan apartment is close to $9,000 at the moment. Yeah, if we're talking about the super luxury, yeah, it's around 30 grand per square meter, and it's all sold out. If we're talking about Singapore or Hong Kong, then the prices over there are from $15,000 to $25,000 per square meter. If we're talking about any big city like Berlin or London or any place, any big city, even in the smaller countries, then the average price per square meter is close to $10,000. So now we're gonna start the sale of this complex in 17th of December, and the prices will be around 4,000 square meters per square meter. It's fully finished and fully furnished. And let's talk about the numbers right now. When you're buying the real estate, yeah, at the current price, and if we're going to be renting it $350 per day, it will bring you a net, after all the taxes and all the expenses, around 13% in the first year. If we're going to rent for $500, which is now average rate for the beachfront complexes, it's already over 20% income net. And if we're talking about the best 5-star hotels here in Bali with the ocean view, that they rented from $700 up to $1,500, $2,000 per night. And this is absolutely regular prices. And they, as I mentioned earlier, have occupancy rate over 80% overall. So if it would be $700 per night, it's over 25% income. Yes, so in 4 years you will get all your money back. So what we're predicting over here, sale starts 17th of December with $4,000 per square meter. We're planning that in a year time it will be $6,000 or 50% income for you as an investor. And close to the finishing of this project, when we're gonna launch the project, the price will be from $7,000 to $10,000. Yeah, so it's easy to make your 150 200% in the next 3 to 5 years, and to earn a good profits for a very, very long time. As well, one big extra for this project, that this is 50 years leasehold with a 30 years extension, and we get 2 years to build it. So we start on 17th of December, and the project will be fully launched by the 20th of December 2024. So we take 24 months to build that complex. It's easy for us, as we have already here the same building, the same, pretty much the same size already done. So we know how to make it. We have all the building permits and all the allowances. It will be very easy to build that. The work's already started. If you have a chance to go to Sanur, you will see our posters over there and our workers already setting up everything for the foundation. So if you're investing in this project, then in every floor you have either jacuzzi. If you're choosing the ground floor, you have your own private pool. Yeah, it's a developed tourist location. It's oceanfront. It has 5.5 kilometers of promenade. It's only area in Bali where you can walk or you can drive a bicycle. It's a royal apartment complex which has a unique design, like more Dubai kind of style. This is what is needed right now. It has its own direct access to the white sand beach. We're gonna bring more white sand beach to that area. Next to us is gonna be built the Icon Bali, which is the biggest cultural and entertainment complex in Sanur. It's already being built. It will be finished in the next 18 months. And there is so many news about the sunroom. If you want to get all this information, please get in contact with your manager. I have all the links to that, to Bloomberg's. I have the videos from the local government telling about the projects which are going to be finished in the next 2 years. It's a huge news, and they really want to develop Sanur as a #1 tourist destination. So why to choose us? Yeah, we're choosing the best location for you for all our projects, which are ideal both for living and to generate you high income. We value high quality of the construction. You can check it by yourself. You can bring your friends over here. We're going to show them how we build. Not many companies in Bali using the same materials or the same way of the construction. We use technological solutions for the property management. We have our own application where you from any place in the world can see the actual incomes, what you're getting. It will be the full reports on your smartphone from every place in the world. Or all our property has the voice control system, smart home technology. So it's already our technology what we're giving as an extra bonus to all our properties. Yeah, we create unique projects, very different from what are on the market. It's a very unique project. You've seen that. If you tell me I will go to another developer and gonna buy the beachfront property from him, I will say go ahead, but you will not find one. Yeah, we take care of all the matters of the maintenance and the management of your properties. So it's a fully managed, no headache for you as an investor. We are the company with the reputation, and we've been trusted with the world's largest real estate companies. We're working with the Sotheby's, we work with IQI Global, Savills, Christie's, and many other famous companies like Knight Frank, Kalinka, so from all over the world. So over here is our phone number. If you don't have it yet, you can text us, you can text your manager and discuss with him availabilities. If you want to know more about our future projects, please sign for our Instagram, YouTube. You get all the construction reports from all our complexes directly on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much for being with us today. Yeah, please subscribe. You will see a lot of very interesting information about the real estate, about the taxes, about the rules changing over here and the laws. You will see a very beautiful project from our company in future. Right now, we are preparing something very special, which is gonna be known everywhere in the world. So one more time, thank you so much for your time, for being with me today over here, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.